What's up, gang? Exting Featurette. I'm Chris. Today I want to talk to you about a new indie horror flick that I recently watched called It's Just a Game from 2018. This was written and directed by Daniel Emery Taylor, who is a dude that I am friends with on Instagram, and it was his solo directorial debut, and it was awesome. He acted in it, so I'll give you a little plot synopsis. Right off the bat, I wanted to get this out because this movie is going to be screening at the Mad Monster Party convention in Carolina coming up in like this week. So if I posted this and you're planning on going to that con, you should check out this movie because it's awesome. It hasn't been distributed yet, but it's making its way around the convention circuit, so keep an eye out for it. And it will be coming out whenever it's released. I will give you more information on that. So the movie starts out with this group of like high school looking girls. They're staying at one friend's house, and they're doing, like, all these weird, like those creepypasta games and stuff. Like, there's a bunch of, like, like Japanese fables and stuff like that you'll find online, or, like, weird Korean fables, like Bloody Mary or, like, stuff like that. So they're playing these games, and they're trying to scare each other. And right off the bat, you can see there's, like, cliques. So there's 4 girls, and there's like this really bitchy, stuck-up girl that is mean to this one that gets picked on. The 2 main characters are like Brianna and Ruby. So Brianna's the one that gets picked on. She's like this, at first I thought she was supposed to be like way younger, but like she's the same age as them. She wears glasses, like, nerd, whatever. So Brianna's basically targeted by the mean girl, Claire, and she's like, well, if the character that they're trying to summon is called Mother Murder. So she's like, if Mother Murder was alive, or was real, I would have her kill Claire. Things spiral out of control. Basically, Claire comes up missing, and her family is killed. And it's kind of like this whole thing, like, trying to figure out what happened, and Brianna's locked herself in her room because she's a social outcast and she's really depressed because her friends weren't actually her friends. So Ruby's trying to figure out what happened because Claire's her friend, Brianna's her friend. She wants to figure out, what is going on. This terrible thing happened to Claire's family. So one of the urban legends that the girls was telling was about Skullgirl, which was a really cool character. They gave the whole backstory. That was really interesting. But then whenever we learned about the killers, this Skullgirl character that we were told the backstory on ends up being like interconnected with this Mother Murder game that they were playing. So Mother Murder is kind of summoned, I guess, and this weird cult. Actually, Daniel Emery Taylor plays Brother Thaddeus. He's kind of like the leader of this cult group. He does he's the listener for people that summon Mother Murder, and his character is really awesome, and his acting style, I guess it's like kind of like the typical like theater kid. Whenever he like enunciates things, it's very, there's a lot of pageantry to it. So it really is fitting whenever he's sitting there like reciting, like soliloquies and stuff. It's a really cool feeling. I think that the whole like the theater cult idea like really fit in well with the story. Brother Thaddeus sends these weird cult kids and Skullgirl to go kill people, and it's pretty gruesome. Like, there's a lot of really interesting kills. So spoiler alert, like basically everybody dies in this, but I was really sad to see Ruby's family go. She had like this dad and a sister that was like visiting, and her sister, I think, was it her sister? I think it was her sister that got stabbed in the neck with the blunt end of a toothbrush. I mean, I guess both ends are blunt, but the non-bristle end. It was like pretty like, what the hell? That was not something I was expecting to see as a murder weapon, but very creative. So there's a lot of facets to this movie. There is a cult element. There's a definite slasher element. There is kind of like paranormal because Mother Murder is an actual like thing. Like, she's an actual like spirit, I guess. There's possession, there is like urban legends, and then there's a really strong female cast. And I did want to say that in a lot of like indie movies, you'll have like 1 or 2, like the main characters might be like really good actors or decent actors, and the rest are kind of like, they can't deliver their lines properly or whatever. But I just wanted to point out that everyone that was cast in this movie was really good. Like, there was nobody in this movie that made me sit there and think while I was watching it that this is an actor. usually whenever I'm watching an indie movie, I'm sitting there thinking, well, this person delivered their lines awkwardly, or, you know, it would have sounded more natural if they did it this way. But there was never a point in It's Just a Game that I thought that. It was just, the acting was really spot on, and it's something that you usually don't see in indie movies. So that was really awesome. Another thing, the sound was perfect. You know, there's never like a point where the music is, you know, blasting your speakers out, or, you know, there's never any really low audio parts where you have to like turn up your TV momentarily. And that's something to be mentioned also. The quality of the production is like top notch for indie flicks. I thought the cinematography was awesome. I thought that there was a lot of really interesting shots, and there was nothing that felt like unnatural. Most of the characters were female. They were really strong characters. I thought that it was cool that there was like a predominantly female cast, because that's not something you see a lot. Usually you'll have, you know, like your final girl or whatever. And this one, I think there was like, you know, aside from the dad character, there was maybe like 3 other guys in it. But it was a bunch of like young girls, so that was really cool. I think that like all the characters were pretty much likable. Even the jerk cult characters that were like killing people and stuff, they were likable. There was not anybody in the movie that I was like, please kill this person. Claire's parents were hilarious. Well, Ruby's dad was awesome. I thought that he was like, I think he was my favorite. He was like making, you know, like pancakes and stuff, or no, he made crepes with, you know, like coconut flour and stuff. He was awesome. He appealed to me. So he was like cooking in a like chef's hat. I was like, oh, look at this guy. He's awesome. But it was just a really fun watch. It was a great plot. It had pretty much something for everyone, and it was like a quality movie. So if you have the chance to check this out, I highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, it's making its way around the convention circuits, and it's playing this week in Mad Monster Party, Carolina. So look for it. I would definitely watch it. I'll link to what I can below. But if you guys have any questions or, you know, comments, let me know. I did message the dude on Instagram though, Daniel Emery Taylor. I was like, hey, I watched your movie, blah, blah, blah. Like, did you, like, was this inspired at all by Skyrim? Because I don't know about you guys, but I, like, absolutely love Skyrim. And it reminded me of this, like, side quest called, like, the Dark Brotherhood. And that just, like, sparked my interest like crazy. It was, it's, like, kind of a similar, like, gist to that. So if you guys play Skyrim, let me know, because I would love to geek out and talk about it for a minute and tell you how that should make you more inclined to watch this movie, because it's great. If you have any questions, throw them at me. I'd love to talk more about this flick. And if you're able to catch it in a convention, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to talk about it. I hope you guys all get a chance to check out It's Just a Game. Thanks, dudes.